Think we live. Let me get this camera right. I didn't even know I was gonna have to hold this camera like this. Peace and love, soul group. Where the camera at? That's how long it's been since I've been on this technology. All right, so the camera is over here. Peace and love, soul group. Yeah, look what the wind blew in. It's a positive marketer, and I was just led here. I was just led here, just out of the silence of my meditation. Um, I'm riding a vibe of love. Like there's just like a calmness right now. You know what I mean? And usually the reason why I stay away from the internet so much now, as you ladies and gentlemen has noticed, it's hard for me to hold the frequency of the internet now. It just, to keep it simple, it ruffles my feathers. It just throws me all out of alignment. You know what I mean? You're just, the internet, you'll feel it too. You'll get this illusion of confusion. You'll get this illusion of self-identity, either strong or weak. You know what I'm saying? And it's so repetitive and it's so overwhelming because there's so many different perspectives and topics and you know what I mean? Agendas and intents. So my intent, let me just state my intent first. My intent for this video will just be clarity. Because I realized after what I've been experiencing probably for the last 2 years, when it comes from the perspective of the soul, totality, and immortality, is that a word? Or the immortal soul, we don't know. Don't tell nobody I said that. But nobody really knows, right? We only know what we experience. Or here, to make it even worse, what somebody tells us, right? They experience. Or something somebody documented. You understand what I'm saying? These are called programs here, to keep it simple, right? But we learn from experiences. So just imagine, just in this incarnation, because a lot of you can't even remember your dream from yesterday, so how can you remember lifetimes? And it gets real confusing because you're like, I'm hearing all this ascension stuff. I'm hearing all these people make all these videos. It seems like spiritual is mainstream now, and a lot of you are very confused. I know this because when I spent probably 12 hours a day at one time on the internet, I became very confused. Very confused. Even with all of my innate abilities that I have, which I incarnated with, as I've been using since a child. That's why it was so hard for me to fit in the quote unquote real world. You know what I mean? I was just one of those kids that I was just in my own imagination all the way up to about when I started liking girls, 16, right? Then I started losing shit, just like everybody else, right? Right? So this internet thing, just let me just touch on this internet for a minute. And in no way am I judging. I am speaking from my experiences. That's what I try to give you guys, what I've experienced, right? I made a full-time living on the internet for like 10 years. Made a lot of money, spent a lot of money, blew a lot of money, right? And I use it like as an experience measuring device because now I remember when no one was on the internet. When I made up the positive marketer, right? Because I always had a positive vibe. I always really gave a fuck. For real, I always gave a fuck. And I still give a fuck. But I give more of a fuck now about my soul ascension. You know what I mean? It's like 90. Now you pushing it a little bit there. Okay, right now, I'm probably 60-40. 60% connected to the soul, 40% as a humanoid. That's what I like to call us, humanoids. Yeah, that's who I am. And it's deep. The rabbit hole is, fuck the rabbit hole. The immortality. It goes deep. So deep that there's some things I can't even talk about on this video because the AI watches me. So let me jump. I'm gonna be jumping all over in this video because I want to kind of catch you guys up of what I've been into, what I've been doing, what I've been experiencing, who I identify as, who I identify myself as. I am an immortal soul. That's who I am. That's what I am. I am an immortal soul. I have convinced my subconscious that's who I am. So that's who I become. And so becoming that gets weird here in 3D, and you get weird to people who grew up with you and family members and I won't say my spouse because my spouse is just as weird. I mean, she runs circles around me spiritually, right? I learned so much from her. She taught me how to love as a humanoid because I had lost that ability to love. Seriously. Yeah, from my child molestation, I lost that ability to open up my heart and receive and give love from the heart now. When you see, when I talk about love now, I'm talking about the love that casts out all fear, love from the heart, right? The first physical presence as a humanoid, it's the heart, you know, and that's a journey. So, where was I? I was talking about the internet a little bit. Oh, okay. Let me get back. I'm multi-dimensional. I be jumping, so forgive me, forgive me. Um, the I made a full-time living from the internet, and I was leading up to. I found myself in a treacherous, vicious life loop, right? A lot of you know me from this channel from manifesting money. I can manifest anything now, anything. But what I learned, right? And the reason why I have to make this video, because a lot of you, like I said before, you found out about me from the magical. We playing with some magic, manifesting money, right? And I had a lot of karmic ties to that video, right? I had a dark night of the soul from that video. Here's why. Everything has a polarity, and everything I put out comes back to me because it was created, and I manifested that video, and all that money I was making, right? I was pulling that from the universe. I was attracting it my way, right? But you have to understand, and I had to learn this, right? Anybody can manifest, right? But there's a law called cause and effect that a lot of people overlook. For every cause, there's an effect, and for every effect, there's a cause in everything. And because I opened up that portal, I mean, you go back to that video, so many people were manifesting money because that video is magical. It works, right? It's tapering off now. It's still a little, but it's nothing like it was when I first created it, right? But I had a lot of karma from that video because people were taking what I showed an example of, using magic, dark matter, right? Going to the void and imagining. And when you go to the void and imagine, the light turns on in the void, and all you have to do is convince your subconscious, which is the most stubborn mother you ever want to meet, because it doesn't understand, like, you know, right, wrong, good. It is out of polarity. Does this make sense? Polarity, you know, you can't have good without bad. You can't have hot without cold. You know, you can't have night without day. You know what I'm saying? But where the subconscious is, it's so literal. It gives you what you will and desire. See? But with that, there's a lot of effects. And a lot of people were manifesting money for bad intentions. Bad intentions. Hey, July Soul, peace and love to you, brother. Peace and love. Or sister, I'm sorry. A lot of people was manifesting money for bad and selfish and evil intentions. And guess who showed them how to do it? You see? And I'm just being 100 with you guys. Yeah, I can still do that, right? But there's a catch. You have to pay back the karma when people's free will get violated for things that you put out. And what the internet does, it puts it out at the speed of light. Almost at the speed of thought. Because you got people now that just sit on the internet and make videos for fiat currency. They don't care what they putting out, but it's gonna all come back. So what I had to learn how to do is I really had to go back to the void. And for myself, from a soul perspective, now I'm gonna be using two perspectives in this video, right? I'm gonna be using the humanoid perspective, which is Derek Dunlap, the positive marketer, right? Because I identify in present moment awareness of that character. Or, I don't whatever you want to call it. I'm cool with it. And I'm gonna be coming from a soul perspective because I'm connected back to my soul. So if it gets weird and, it's probably soul. If it feels good to it, but some of you are connected to the soul, right? More, with more clarity than I have. All right? So with this internet, I don't do it. I don't do it like I used to. It degrounds me. It throws my emotional body all out of alignment. It's so fast. You know what I'm saying? It just, you can almost seizure from the internet right now. And there's so many brand new souls that are waking up that's just throwing up on the internet. You know what I mean? It's just like if you could give a newborn baby a YouTube channel, right? It'd just be a lot of go go gaga, go go gaga, oh, go go gaga. Yeah, souls are waking up. It's a beautiful thing, right? But with the technology, nah. You know what I mean? Because a lot of perspective gets put out and it might not be for you. You understand what I'm saying? Because we're all in the soul group, right? But what's so amazing about us being in this hive mind of mentalism, right? We all have our own, I'll just keep it simple, egos that we develop, which gives us a variety of perspective. So what might be good for me, and especially if I'm trying to take the role of a guru or a master, you see all kind of names. I am the return of Christ, and I am this, and I am that. And so you become who you are. I get it. But for me, I don't need all that. It's hard enough for me, right, to balance enough clarity where I can go now. And I'm going to talk about that, where I can go now, what I've been doing with a lot of my time and the illusion of time. But it's hard enough for me right now to just find a balance of being what I would call a normal humanoid. And a normal humanoid is just a very small life loop. Here's a normal humanoid. What used to be normal. It's probably not even normal now. A normal humanoid probably wakes up in the morning, picks up the cell phone, right? Checks their emails, see who liked, loved. This is life, right? This is a perspective of life here, right? I got a daughter who does this. I got a son who does this, right? Check the emails. Lay there for a minute. Think about how fucked up the day is gonna be because I gotta go do something that I hate just for money. Right? I gotta pay the bills. I gotta go do something. Or I gotta, and now it's even. I gotta try to come up with some fictitious content so I could get some clicks and likes so I could pay my rent. I gotta prostitute myself online, basically, right, to entertain souls and beings just because. So even if it's taking me to places that I'm really not comfortable being or comfortable doing, I gotta do it because I need the clicks, right? That's what, when I saw that a long time ago, and when I saw where it was going, especially, and this is just, this is not hating or bashing, because listen, I can't, because when I started this video, I was very honest and transparent with you guys. I've always been honest and transparent to the best of my ability, right? Ain't no saints on this planet, but you know what I mean? I used to make a living off the internet. I made a lot of money off the internet. So I could talk about it. I could talk about it. You know what I mean? The dark, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I'm not hating. I'm just telling you why I got off. I got off because I was in a vicious life loop. So the normal life, I'm bouncing back. I'm back on that timeline. Check the emails. You go to work. You do something that you hate just for money. Now, in the illusion of time here, I want you guys to understand this. Understand you only have 24 hours here, right? In a day, what they call a day. So they chop up consciousness into like little microcosmic, little slices. That's why they call them like little timelines. They're very thin slices of this reality, right? You agree to it, and they call it a day. And then you can break that day down to a month. I'm sorry, you could a day. Let's just stay with a day, because it gets confusing. So most people probably sleep 4 to 6 hours. I get 8. So if you're working 12 hours, like a lot of people do, I don't care if you working from home. Working means your awareness is contracted to be observing a certain event, person, or your consciousness is tied up, because everything is consciousness. So even if you work from home, if you're doing something on the computer for 12 hours, your consciousness is there. You have identified as a being which is focused on this, and that becomes the totality of the life for you at that time. So that's 12, right? You sleep for 8. What's that? 24, right? That leaves you with what? I just lost it. So you work for 12 hours. That leaves you with 12. If you sleep for 8, that only leaves you 4 hours. I mean, really look at this. You really have to look. And listen, we are programmed to do that shit for 30 years. You know why the baby boomers can't stand the millenniums right now? Because they did that shit for 30, 40, 50 years. And now you have baby boomers and starseeds and indigos that could just jump online and chew food and shit, be smacking and, and make $20,000, $30,000 a month. You see what I'm saying? So what the internet is strategically doing is it's addicting us. It's addicting you to it. The internet a bad mofo. It's bad. It's the most addictive drug on the planet right now. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Turn it off for a month. Try. Turn the phone off for a day. Try. It's addictive. And guess what? We're giving these devices, right? I remember a time when it was bad for a kid, like, to take a sip of alcohol. You know what I mean? If you were like 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 and you took a sip of your dad or your mom's beer or puffed on a joint, right? 14 and 15, that was bad, right? Because drugs are addictive. Alcohol is addictive. Nobody wants that, right? But with the internet, we're putting these devices in little babies' hands. I see it all the time, and the baby just, the awareness hits the phone, and they looking at this little device. I'm talking 1 year old. I'm talking infants. As soon as that baby can reach out and grab, that's what's going on. See, you don't really understand 5G yet. You will. I know all about, well, I gotta watch what I say, because if I don't want to start talking about 5G, they'll take the videos down like I lost my last channel, right? But you don't understand 5G. like you think you do. There's a lot of people picketing 5G because of just the frequencies of 5G, but 5G is game changing in the matrix. It's like it's like tightening up the security of the matrix. It's like, it's like for the dimension we in, it's just like you buying a brand new security system for your home that fucking monitors, excuse my language, everything. You can't take a don't say that, without the cameras capturing it. That's 5G. No need for these devices in 10 years. We won't be holding these devices like this in 10 years. Like just whoop. 5G is little fragmented, how can I explain it? They're around us now, the waves, right? Now, this is when I'm talking back, going back into the soul. So if you're a humanoid, this gonna sound crazy. But when you go from a soul perspective, everything is energy, right? So I can see and feel 5G when I'm in the non-physical. And 5G is conscious, it's alive, it's little fragmented particles of frequencies to where they'll be connected more with the artificial intelligence, the face recognition and the energy recognition that the device, the particles, this shit is deep, will recognize you. So with 5G, if let's just say you wanted to order an Uber, there will be no devices. And you get little glimpses of this from the little garbage artificial intelligence. Like you could be at your house and you could be talking and say, honey, did you make coffee? And then that fucking Amazon thing or that Google thing will be, the coffee shop is on the, that happened to y'all before, right? Or the phone will just say, you would just be having a normal conversation. You leave the cell phone on, it'll just come on. Did you say you wanted a half ounce of Kush weed? And everybody's looking, right? Now, 5G is 1,000 times more sensitive to that, right? If you speak it, I would like to take a Uber. Guess what's gonna happen? The 5G will connect you to Uber. Hi, Derek. Are you at geographically location? Say your address, right? And the Uber is coming. So when you look at the totality of that, where's the free will? Where's the freedom? You can't take a shit without somebody. And 5G records everything because it's fragmented particles that surrounds everything based on the circumference of these towers that they're going to be projecting this frequency from. It's a game changer. You know what I mean? We all in the system. We're all in the system now. There's no running from it now, right? So that's the 5G. So that's why I got off of the internet, 23 minutes. That's why I backed out of the internet. So the real reason, what was the icing on the cake is when the men in black, of what I've been told now. I got some buddies that I still communicate with. I had this discussion with them, but these two very large men came to my front door about 2 years ago, right? I was making some, we were moving some energy, Soul Group. Not on this channel, right? This channel was my money manifestation channel. But on my other channel, we were talking about life changing. We were changing lives. So we were waking up a lot of souls. And I say we because it wasn't just me. We were a very powerful hive. And the hive got broken up, okay? But it was the best thing that ever happened for me when the men in black showed up at my residence. I wish my wife was here. My wife don't like the internet or the camera. She's very sensitive to energy. I'm very sensitive to energy. And the only reason why I can hold this frequency now is because I'm holding this little slice of presence of love, this infinite divine feminine love that's like in my heart chakra right now. And I can hold this, you know? But if I didn't have this, I would be just scattered, headache, you know what I mean? So we were talking about the Matrix. Let me jump back on that timeline. I appreciate you guys' patience. I know it seems like I'm all over the place, but this is what happens when you go into that multi-dimensional version of yourself. It's hard to stay in a loop. You know what I mean? So we were talking about the internet. Let's go back to the men in black. So I got a ring and a knock at my front door. This was a couple years ago. And I thought somebody was selling something. So I went to the door, opened up the door, and usually if I stay at the door too long, my wife would come to make sure I'm all right, you know. We in Detroit, it's like that. It's getting a lot better in Detroit, but you know what it is. Big tall guys, Caucasian descent, probably 6'7", 6'6", had on like black coats, ties. And so they said, Mr. Dunlap, you know, Mr. Derek Dunlap. And I'm like, you know, at first, you know, hey man, I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. And I know I can feel when it ain't right. So I was seconds away from saying, nah, he ain't here. Because the energy was just, and these two beings were, they had the ability to use, I just had a brain fart, but they could use telepathy because what they were trying to do, and I can feel it. It's hard to explain this and not confuse anybody, but if I meet up with somebody that uses telepathy, we can both do it because I will pick up on their thoughts and they'll pick up on my thoughts. That's telepathy. A lot of people confuse telepathy to, why the fuck am I thinking like this? Something is wrong with me. I keep having all these thoughts and I don't know. That's your telepathy, especially if you're around a lot of different people or if you're at a workplace, right? Everybody is being forced to ascend. Some people are going to ascend the hard way. Some people are just going to go with the flow of the universe, right? So when you surrender everything, and that's so scary for people, but in order to really take advantage of what's going on right now, just surrender everything and just say, new day, new life. Because really, that's what it is. Every time your body shuts down and your soul has that dark night, see, people scared of the dark night of the soul, but the dark night of the soul was the best thing that ever happened to me because it showed me all of the, uh, I don't want to be too graphic, but it just showed me all of the stagnated energy I had that had to be cleared up and resolved in order for me to evolve. And a lot of that shit ain't pretty, right? It's not pretty, but it's necessary. And it's so rejuvenating when you unclog all of these emotions and circumstances and situations and you know what I mean, things that you've gone through in this incarnation that you have not let go of. You can hide it from, you know, the world, but don't mind fuck yourself. Let it go. You gotta let it go because it's weighing you down. You can listen. When you connect to your soul, which we all are, we all connecting to the soul. But here's the thing. Some of us are accepting it and surrendering, willing to surrender everything. Do you understand the immortality of the soul and the power of the thought of this from the soul? You just think about it and you got it, right? But you have to be careful because as you start ascending, you will realize that you have this realm of duality that I like to just call creation. Because everything here in this matrix, we created from our thoughts. We don't believe it yet, but a lot of us know what it is. I know what it is. Everything that surrounds me right now, look around you. Just look around you in your home or wherever you at. Everything around you, you thought about it. Well, I don't remember thinking about that. How the fuck can you remember when you probably got a trillion thoughts that you can't even control a day? You understand what I'm saying? It's so complex but so simple, right? So we're all evolving. Everybody's evolving, whether you want to or not. You are an immortal soul. You just forgot and you lost the connection. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, but more than likely, it's just been whatever you're placing your awareness and your consciousness in. That's what's sucking up this variation of the life. And that's what I had to get away from. You know what I mean? I just can't stand life loops. I can't stand waking up knowing exactly how this day. I mean, but just think about it. Be real to yourself. Just be, you can bullcrap me and everybody that sees this live stream, and you know, you can turn on your phone and fake it, but can we just keep it real right now? Me and you, right, one-on-one. Remember, I'm just trying to put out some clarity of what's really going on from parts of the soul perspective and being a humanoid now. Do you really just want to be a humanoid for infinity? Do you just want to be a human for infinity when do you understand the totality of being immortal and beingness? You could be whatever you want to be. Do you really understand when I say that? Being in the hive mind of the divine presence of everything, you're in that hive mind. You could be anything. Why work your bones? Why choose to do the same thing every day for this fiat currency? And I know we need it. I don't want you guys to take it the wrong way, but we have to break that slave mentality for it. Manifest it and be prepared of the cause and effect from manifesting from the mind. You don't have to work your bones dry no more. And that's why you're so insulted when you see kids playing video games, right? On the internet and making $20,000 a month. That should wake you up to how effed up this currency system is. It's very insulting. That's why it's time to let it go now. You see, if you didn't know, everybody's gonna lose everything here anyway. I know this, you know this. You know it in your heart. Even if you haven't accepted it from your soul yet, there's gonna be a reset. A much needed reset, right? And a lot of elite people are not even vibing with us right now. A lot of souls have went inward already. Nobody dies. Nobody dies. This little sleeve I got on going, it's gonna decay and rot. But when you're communicating and interacting with these beautiful beings, right, they don't die. We've been lied to about death. I'm gonna share something with you guys that I don't ever think I shared before. I don't say that confidently because I share a lot of things, but I had a near-death experience in 2009. I never talked about this, and the reason why I didn't talk about this, and I'm gonna share this on this video. This is gonna be a bonus that I don't think a lot of you guys have heard, right? I had a near-death experience in 2009. I still got the papers downstairs. The paperwork from this near-death experience was like the size of the old yellow pages. I'm telling my age. Remember how thick the yellow pages is? That's how much paperwork I got when I came back from this near-death experience. So I'll explain this, and then whatever comes from that, we'll just go from there. And then I'm gonna end this because we've been on here 30 minutes already. There's so much to talk about with so little time and the illusion of time. I was working for a company in Toledo, Ohio. I was doing some freelance consulting work, and I was helping a young man build a business. My job was the setup and the display and how to show certain products. I was a positive marketer, right? I always had the mouthpiece and the ability to talk. And I was really helping him out, and he was opening up right then strip malls were popular. You know, the little storefronts in strip malls in the suburbs. Yeah, we were doing a lot of traveling. And if it wasn't that far, we would jump in, a rental car, and we would drive to these different locations, and I would train a new sales rep on how to set up and display. What I did was I used to always make the rookies drive because I hated driving, right? So if you were a brand new hire, I would make you drive, and I would sit in the back and read the newspaper. So in 2009, what up, Ike? That's my little magic man, little Ike. So in 2009, Texan had just started taking off. And I'm sitting in the back, and the other sales guy was in the front, and he kept he kept bitching, excuse my language, at the driver. Hey, man, stop texting and drive the car, man. You're going to get us killed, right? But I didn't know what texting was back then. I'm serious. 2009, I didn't know what texting was. And so I put the paper down and I said, well, what is he doing? And the guy, he's playing on that phone, right? So I told him, hey, man, don't drive the car. Don't get off the phone, And I continued to read my newspaper. All right. Now I'm gonna tell you this from a soul perspective now, because the information that I would normally tell you as a humanoid would be what I read from police reports and doctor reports, and because I got a big stack of papers. So what happened was, it was my time. I had to check in. We all check in. Some of us check in from dreams. Some of us check in from sun gazing. Some of us check in from meditation. Some of us check in from psychedelics. Some of us check in from weed, but we all check in. That's what I like to call it, check in. I hadn't checked in a long time. So it was just my time in the illusion of time to check in, all right? So I checked in. So as I checked in, the driver of the car continued texting and driving. We're on a two-way highway, 70 miles an hour. We were coming up to the ramp where there were no ramps on this highway. You just made a left or a right. So we were going 70 miles an hour. The kid was texting, and the car in front of us had stopped. And so what happened was, when he looked up, right, we were 20 feet away from the car, but we were still going 70 miles an hour, AKA the state trooper police report. So we ran into that car and knocked us off of the two-way highway. I was reported from the report unresponsive, okay? I never talked about this because I didn't understand what had happened, but I understand now once I connected and got all of the information from a soul perspective, okay? So I was unresponsive. I was life flown in a helicopter to the nearest hospital. Days later, right, I awoke, all right? Now, let me tell you what happened to me so you can understand death. And this is why I had this experience. I just never knew how to explain it or tell it. But death, what you've been told about death, it's just a lie. It's just a fear tactic. Nobody dies. So what happened to me was I went into a lucid dream, okay? That's what death is, to the soul, to the person, as the soul transfers from the physical plane, right? And goes into the non-physical plane, right? There's like a in-between frequency phase, just like on the radio when you turn it a little bit, you get that, and then you'll run into a radio station. Dimensions and timelines, or whatever you want to call it, is the same. I went there. And let me tell you who I met. A lot of shit has changed, okay? Now, if you are religious, hey, cat girl, if you are religious, and I was raised Christian, I read the Bible 3 times. Yes, Jesus is real. I'm gonna say it. You know why Jesus is real? Because you probably got 3 billion souls that believe he's real. So he must be as you believe. All right? That's from the soul perspective. Now, from a humanoid perspective, he could have been a mortal man. He could have just been another story. All right? But in the non-physical realm, Yahshua is real. And you will meet him one day. Okay? The thing of it is, I'll just say there's many ways to ascension. And I'll leave it at that because I don't want to get attacked by Christians. But let me tell you this, soul group. I met the divine feminine mother. It was the most beautiful, blissful experience I have ever partook in. It is orgasmic. And that's why the divine feminine women on the planet, you are so beautiful. And don't take this. See, when you tap into the divine, it's not a sexual thing. right? It's nothing sexual. When I say orgasmic, the orgasm is the best feeling we have here. Because from a soul perspective now, not from a human, not on a physical plane, when you orgasm, a part of your soul is freed. People don't understand. It's free. It gets out of the body. It's your life force energy. You understand what I'm saying? This energy is so strong, it can create. It's your DNA. It's your life force. It's your presence here. That's why the orgasm feels so good. But we were taught, right, that sex and orgasm is a sin and we'll go to hell and burn for it, right? In this program, in this humanoid form that we're in right now, there is a program running for us to breed and multiply here. Because where we are here is a prison planet. We all doing time. Everybody's doing time, right? Everybody's awareness has to be accounted for here. You gotta work. This is what I'm telling you. And so we've been taught that the orgasm is a bad thing. And it's not. Now, it can be abused and used for wrong intentions. I agree. But if you learn how to use this sexual energy for your ascension and not your lust, it's some powerful, don't tell nobody I said that, right? Because once one can control the orgasm and the power, you know how much power is in an orgasm? Must I explain how powerful an orgasm is, especially from the divine femme? And I'm gonna piggyback off of that to get back to where I was. The divine femme, when they orgasm, it's the most beautiful thing. It becomes so intimate, and that's the only thing. You know, the only thing that can tame the divine masculine is the divine feminine, her orgasm. It'll tame a beast because it's so powerful. So I met this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful being. It was the divine feminine mother creator energy. And she had something that I had to do. I had to tell what it really is. And if you are religious, you're not going to like this at all. But I'm going to tell you what I experienced in my beingness, right? A lot of things have been changed. A lot of things have been tweaked. Y'all know that. So I'm going to just ask you 3 questions because I want your the common sense that some of you still have to really understand what I'm about to say. This is when I had this near-death experience. I met her. I met the divine feminine mother, the beginner of creation, from where we reside in now, right? So, on this planet, there's a saying, and just use your common sense. On this planet, there's a saying, there's no love on this planet like a whose love. Somebody just said it. Like a mother's love. And you can go to every species. You look at a dog. Ain't no love like that dog's mama. You look at the birds. That bird go out and risk its life probably every time it go out to bring food back to those babies. We grow inside of our mothers. We literally grow inside of this beautiful being, this divine feminine energy. Okay? So there's no love like a who? Say it again. Like a mother's love, right? And who do we call nature? Or what do we call nature? Somebody just said it. Mother Nature. You see how easy this is? She gave it to me. It's in me. I can't help this. It's in me. That's why I'm sharing it. If I'm gonna get on the internet, I'm gonna put some clarity out here. So you will have something to just to focus on. Simple stuff. So it ain't no love like a mother's love. What do we call nature? Mother Nature. Who do we call Earth? The being that we all live on, that feeds us. The food grows out of this being. What do we call? Somebody said Gaia. That's close. Mother Earth, Gaia, divine feminine, right? Which we were born into her realm. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta understand dimensions. We live on her. We ground with her. The sun shines on her and we get a reflection of that. So now let me go back. There's no love like a mother's love. Right? There's a saying, God is, damn, somebody said love. It's in your books. Ain't no love like a mother's love. God is love. Mother Nature, Mother Earth. But yet, we've been programmed to call her he. So, if you really want what you would call a truth, tap back into your divine feminine. She is the beginning of creation here. It's a deep thing. I can't talk about a lot of it. But ladies, stop calling him he when you think about the creator of where we are now in this illusion. It was from her. She's always been the creator. Even just look around you. Ain't no divine masculine bringing nothing into these realms. We just sow seeds and reap the harvest. Ain't that what we do? Nothing has changed. So your God is Mother God. Don't blaspheme her. She deserves that, doesn't she? Don't the mother, the universal mother, deserve that love? It's been raped and stripped away from her for thousands, probably millions of years. When the war happened in heaven, it was the divine masculine against the divine feminine. Ain't it still that way right now? It's the divine masculine against the divine femmes right now. But look at the divine femmes. They waking up. Listen, I got 50% of my mom's divine feminine energy. And I got another 50% of my dad's divine masculine. That makes up a male, okay? The female is 100-fold divine feminine energy. Or somebody said, no, what about her daddy? I'm talking about from a soul perspective. She 100-fold. She 2 times. 100-fold. Y'all don't understand energy. So you need, listen, you can love whoever you want to love. Just play with the divine feminine. She's the creator. Her orgasm, she can create. She can bring forth life here. Now, you define life here. Do you think it's just a humanoid form, the humanoid form here? Anything you will and desire. You gotta piggyback her. Love who you wanna love. Lay with whoever you wanna lay. But 2 masculines can't get nothing but a spark. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. 2 masculines can't get nothing but a spark. That's it. 2 divine feminines, right? They just get like an explosion. But you know what made that creation in the Big Bang? That war, that separation of the divine feminine and the divine masculine when they came together and boom, the orgasm. It's a deep thing, y'all. Shit is deep. I'm telling you. Orgasm. See, we just become so sick and lustful minded that we do. And I know there's a lot of stuff that's going on this planet because everybody got free will because nobody dies. So when you tap into this realm you in from a soul perspective, everybody's just playing and experiencing. This shit ain't serious. This is the entertainment of our universe. We are the entertainment beings. There's nothing serious